After several long days of grinding, I finally hit Master Ball rank in Pokémon TCG Pocket. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I got there and teach you how to do it too. I'll walk you through the 3 main decks I used during my climb, break down each list, explain how to play them, and then show you gameplay of the 3 decks in Masters ranked matches. If you don't know me, I'm Sinner. I play a lot of Pokémon TCG Pocket, compete in tournaments, and I made it to Master with a 60% win rate, which I think is pretty solid. I put a lot of time into this video, so if you find it helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. It really helps out. The 3 decks I used were Giratina Darkrai, Gyarados EX, and Carnivine Meowscarada Arceus. Let's jump into the deck lists. The first deck I'm showing is actually the final deck I used to close out my climb, Giratina Darkrai. This was the only deck out of the 3 where I actually tracked my win-loss ratio, and I ended up with 22 wins, 9 losses, which is around a 70% win rate. This deck runs a lot of healing, because it's really important to keep your initial tank Pokemon alive, while you safely build up your bench Giratina and Darkrai. Initially, I used Dawns instead of Nurse Joy, but after losing a game on ladder to someone running Nurse Joy, I really saw how strong it was, and decided to use it as well. Sometimes, the card can get you 1 extra turn, which is huge when building up Giratina on the bench. From playing the deck, I learned that generally, you really don't want your Giratina in the front spot turn 1, unless you have a second to build up on the back line. The ideal setup that you want is something like this, where you can safely build up your carries on the bench. The key tip I can give you on playing this deck is that generally, you want to be attacking with your Darkrai first, and then bringing in your Giratina as the final boss to close out the game. The second deck that I used was this Gyarados deck, which got me the majority of my wins from mid Ultra Ball 2 up until Ultra Ball 4. In my opinion, this is the easiest deck out of the 3 to play. It just feels like you don't really have to calculate damage ranges as often compared to the last deck. With this deck, you generally want to have a setup like this, where you can safely build your Gyarados up and then start swinging for 140. The hardest part of this deck is definitely calculating which Pokemon you need to place your Rocky Helmet on, and at the correct time. Especially in the mirror matchup, it's crucial that you make the enemy Gyarados hit into a Rocky Helmet at least once. The final deck I used was this Carnivine Meowscarada Arceus deck, which actually surprised me a lot with its performance. This deck got me from the very bottom of Ultra Ball 1 up to around mid Ultra Ball 2. At first, I thought that this wasn't a good deck, but I decided to still try it out because I was versing a lot of Darkrai decks at the time, and I wanted to find a deck that could counter that. This deck is extremely aggressive and can definitely catch some opponents off guard. Carnivine can win you so many games in the early stages just from the fact that he can do 50 damage for 1 energy. But the key part of this deck is Meowscarada. This guy ruined the day of so many Darkrai's, Giratinas, and even Gyarados. And Meowscarada is surprisingly tanky. It's hard for many cards in the current meta to one-shot him because everyone stopped running Giovanni and chose to run red instead. You definitely want to make sure to have at least 1 copy of Iono in the deck, since it helps with the consistency of actually getting the Meowscarada online. Finally, in some games where you don't ever draw your Meowscarada, you can build up your Arceus, and even he can sweep some wins for you. This is the general setup that I like to have with this deck. It allows you to play around Sabrina, whilst also building your Meowscarada safely and doing maximum damage. Now I'm going to show you Master gameplay that I recorded after reaching Master earlier this afternoon. We're going second versus a water deck. We do have the Carnivine start, which is really good if we're versing the Gyarados deck, which it seems like we are. Magikarp is not the best start in the centre for him. He would much prefer Manaphy. But if we draw our Arceus, we're one-shotting. Going for Misty. If he hits 1 heads, he's obviously going to leap out to safety. Thankfully he doesn't. Now we just need to see Arceus. 2 Arceus, 2 Pokeball, 2 Professor's Research. Okay, so we're going for Arceus. Come on. Another Pokeball. 50-50. And we lose the 50-50, but we'll still apply the 20 damage. Obviously. Start building up for our Meowscarada. That way if he doesn't have Irida to heal, we're going to be Cyrusing that little fish right back in. I really hate this guy. So no Irida this turn, so he is going to be leaping to safety. We get to nip this in the bud right before it even starts. Really beautiful. We even get to nullify the one energy that he put. So we're up a massive advantage right now. Let's see. We can place our energy on the Florigato and Cyrus the Sky in. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he concedes right now. But I imagine he wants to play it out since we are at master rank. He doesn't want to get the... He doesn't want to give away the win potential. Yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to come back into this one. Massive advantage for us. We've got the Meowscarada coming down next turn. So I'm going to retreat into it in one shot. Let's see. We'll just research to draw 2. There's the Arceus. Don't even need to retreat now. We'll place our second energy on the Florigato and evolve him. Yep, and he concedes. GG. There was really nothing he could do after the Magikarp died. So we're going first into a fighting deck. Most likely Gallade, Hitmonlee. Okay, so it's Sudowoodo. This implies that it's Sudowoodo, Lucario, plus Rampardos. We do have both of our main Pokemon. We can start ramping up our Giratina. I'm just trying to think if I need to place the Rocky Helmet for the Sudowoodo. I think I do. I think placing it does help. Because we're going to be chipping away at it for 20 damage each turn, so we could potentially kill that in 2 turns. I'm just thinking about Sabrina. Could also place the Rocky Helmet on this guy. I guess I will. It's a hard matchup and Sabrina would make it even harder, so... And we're going first. So what we don't want to see right now is Fossil. He has his Fossil on 1. That brings our win rate down massively. But it's really hard to get Fossil. Well, it's not really hard. I think it's about... I think I did the math like a couple of months ago. It's about 40% to get a Fossil in your starting hand. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So... He has the Marshadow, he has the Railu, and he has the Fossil as well, of course. He has everything. Next turn will be coming down with Lucario, I'm sure. Maybe he doesn't have his Cranidos. So I am going to place this Giratina to play around Sabrina now, so we can keep building this guy. I am going to Pokemon Center Lady right now. I think it's important that we keep our Darkrai alive as long as possible. I mean, we're down to 1 card in hand, so we're definitely utilizing all of our cards. Well, the fact that he got Professor's Research and 2 Pokeball and we got nothing. But let's see. So we don't want to see Cranidos right now. The longer it takes him to get that, the better for us. They do run one or maybe even 2 Pokemon communications, so that is a way that they can speed it up. If not, I imagine he's just going to place 1 energy on his Marshadow. He's probably thinking about if he should attack or not. I think the answer is no. I think he shouldn't attack. I think he should just pass. He needs his Sudowoodo to tank another turn. He does Sabrina now. I'm kind of forced to give him the one that I built energy on because I don't have Leaf in hand and I don't want to be stuck with this guy in the front spot. I think to win this match I need to be attacking with Darkrai as soon as possible. We're going to kill this next turn, but then we can't do any attacks. But he's going to do 100 next turn with Marshadow. Wait, he isn't going to do 100 actually, because I'm going to kill it, the Sudowoodo now. Marshadow only works if it was knocked out from damage from an attack, so Marshadow's only doing 40, potentially 60. So let's see. I think I can just leave Giratina in the front spot here, you know. I think I can just leave him. Because he's never one-shotting it. He's literally never one-shotting the Giratina. Then we can put our third energy on. And next turn we're swinging for 130. And then we just have to use this Darkrai to kill one more Pokemon. So yeah, he opts to put the Railu. I'm going to place the Darkrai down. Just in case he Sabrina's again. We'll build a third energy. So he's only pushing 20 damage next turn. This is actually looking like a win. That's the problem with fossil decks, is the consistency on drawing the key cards like Rampardos. It just takes... I mean, I've never had luck with that sort of deck. I just never draw the fossil. But yeah, and he concedes. GG. It's nice winning against a fighting deck. So we're going second against a water deck. Starting Carnivine's really good here because we can start one-shotting the Manaphy straight away from turn 1. We just need to pick up Arceus, of course. Double Pokeball makes it really likely though. Let's see, so worst case scenario, he has Magikarp and Palkia Origin form right now. Hopefully he only has one of them. He's placing the Giant Cape so we don't one-shot the Manaphy right now. Okay. He does have one Pokemon, so... He seems hesitant to play it though. He must be scared of Sabrina. He must have Magikarp and he's scared of Sabrina. Which we do have, so... Smart play by him to hold that. We do pick up the Arceus. So if I put him to 20 and he uses Irida, he goes up to 60. So we're not too hitting him in that scenario. I'm just trying to think if it's worth even playing the Arceus then, because he could Sabrina my Arceus into the front spot and I'm kind of screwed. I don't have Leaf currently. So the plan is I'm just going to push 20 here. Because if he has the Irida, he would be surviving next turn anyway. So doing 20 or doing 50 doesn't matter here. And this way we get to play around Sabrina, which is really important here. He only has one basic, we're going to be Sabrina-ing in Magikarp. Oh, so he's running Magikarp Palkia EX. I really thought that was going to be a Gyarados deck there. You don't really see this variant much at Master Ball rank. And he's running Mars. This guy's a lunatic. He's really running Mars in this deck. We do manage to pick up the Arceus again, but we're down on a lot of cards now. So we'll just start building up Arceus and then we'll swing for 50. The Mars really swung the game, and the fact that he ended up being Palkia and not Gyarados really threw me off guard. But this game is still in a good position, we can still win from here. So he chooses to put Palkia Origin Form in the centre. I can't even kill that in 2 turns. Would have to retreat into Arceus next turn and then hit it again. Hopefully we can pick up more basic Pokemon to guarantee that kill. He is building the energy upon this instead of the Palkia as well. We do get this Brigatito. Cute little guy. We'll place our energy and swing. He's swinging for either 60 or 120 right now. He does have a second Misty. Let's see what he hits. He does hit heads. Only 1. So this Palkia 150 attack is 2 turns away at minimum. Well, at maximum, I guess. He does hit the heads and one-shots the Carnivine. That's really bad for us. We'll come in with our Arceus and start. So we're hitting for 90, so we do have the kill. We also have two of our best tech cards for dealing with these guys. If he comes in with the 2 energy Palkia, he's going to put the 3rd energy on. We can then Sabrina in. He would have to put in Palkia because he doesn't want to give us our 3rd prize, obviously. And this guy has a 2 retreat cost. Now the question would be, is he running Leaf? I've seen him run Mars. He probably is running at least 1 Leaf. And it honestly wouldn't shock me if he's running 2. But somehow he manages to fit in Team Rocket Grunt and a Mars, along with everything else. Misty, 2 Irida, I imagine. So maybe he cut 1 Leaf. Let's see. I think the play is to just... At most we have 110 here. I think the play is to just Sabrina. And then start building up from Meowscarada. And we need to see a magical Leaf from him. He's got 1 card, he's drawing another. He really needs Leaf to... Well, Leaf wins him the game. And if he doesn't have Leaf, he loses the game. So let's see if he has it. 6 cards left in deck. And he does have the Leaf. It's really unfortunate. Good game though. We're going second against a fire deck, most likely a Charizard deck. Okay, he doesn't start with Moltres, which is really good for me. We do have the Manaphy and Magikarp start. Obviously I hold the Magikarp to play around Sabrina. So now we just need to find Gyarados. Apart from the Magikarp, the rest of the hand's looking really slow. So we're hoping to pick up the Professor's Research very soon. He needs an X-Speed or a Leaf to start ramping with his Moltres next turn. So... I think the play is hold the second Magikarp for a couple of turns so that we can guarantee have a Pokemon communication at a later time. Just in case we don't pick up our Gyarados. And obviously every turn you wait with the Pokemon communication increases your odds of getting the card that you want. Because we'll pick up a Manaphy, we'll pick up a Origin Form Palkia. We need as few minions in the deck, Pokemon in the deck as possible. So that we can pull Gyarados from this Pokemon communication. That's all we need. Gyarados. In a one-on-one battle, Charizard, if he's running old Charizard, that does just destroy Gyarados in the 1v1. If he's running new Charizard, which only does 150, we would be able to tank a hit. So he did have the X-Speed and he is going for... He hits 3 heads, that's crazy. Whenever I use that deck, 0, 1 head. Very unlucky on this deck for me. So there's the Gyarados. So we can start swinging as soon as next turn. So I guess at this point I'll use... I'm going to use this to try and hit Origin Form Palkia. I think hitting Origin Form Palkia has better odds of winning us the game over second Magikarp. Of course we hit the Manaphy, which isn't ideal, but... I am going to place it down anyway. Just in case he Sabrinas. We don't want him getting any chip damage onto our Gyarados. No matter how likely it is that would happen. So he needs Charmeleon right now. He didn't have a Charmeleon last turn. So he is Ionoing to try and find that. What supporter did he use last turn? So he used Professor's Research last turn. Now he needs Charmeleon, 3 cards. If he doesn't hit it right now, he loses. If he hits it right now, he then needs the Charizard next turn. The Rocky Helmet doesn't really do anything in this matchup. I think I have seen them run one cape for the extra 20 health on the Moltres, but it's very rare that the Moltres ever actually attacks into a Rocky Helmet, so... Okay, he doesn't have the Charmeleon. That leaves us in a really good spot. I'm going to start swinging with Gyarados. I'm just going to keep any concedes. GG. So we're going second versus a water deck. Another water deck, probably Gyarados if I'm being honest. I see those guys flooding the rank like crazy. I do feel like this is a good matchup into them though, with how aggressive we are. We just pick up Arceus next turn, we're swinging for 50. We have really good odds for it as well. We have Pokeball plus Iono. So I'm going to use the Pokeball first. If we don't hit the Arceus, I'll throw the entire hand away with Iono. Also Sabrina would be nice. So let's see. Thing is, if I hit Sprigatito, I also have the full line. Carnivine, okay, that seals the deal. If I hit Sprigatito, I would consider not Iono, but I really want to find Arceus right now, so that we can start pressuring the Palkia. Plus Sabrina would also be nice. Pokeball, come on Arceus. Nice, that's really big. We do have the Leaf ready if he Sabrina's the Arceus in, trying to slow us down. So we're putting him to 70. Imagine he's not even going to bother wasting energy on the Palkia, he's just going to keep building up the Magikarp in the back. He's just using this as a tank to hold out. Team Rocket Grunt is really good against Magikarp, well Gyarados, since he builds up so much energy. Even one or two hits is enough to swing the matchup in our favour. But he does have the double Manaphy. He can't get the Palkia out. That is the downside of Iono though, we've given ourselves a completely trash hand, apart from the Arceus. But we didn't really have a choice considering we didn't even have the Sprigatito. Like, we had the Florigato and Meowscarada, but we didn't have the Sprigatito, we didn't have the Arceus, so we basically had to Iono there. We just have the Irida, which saves him another turn. And he's building up energy. Well, he had to heal it. I think the player's just a swing. The thing is, he'll be putting us to 20. Honestly, the 20 doesn't matter. I'm just going to swing anywhere. Could Sabrina, but I think it's important to save the Sabrina for later to try and get around the Gyarados. Like, because we're going to kill the Palkia. Then I imagine his Gyarados still won't have 4 energy, so he'll be sending in the Manaphy to build it up for a turn, you know, to tank for a turn. We'll kill that, then he'll come in with his Gyarados, and then we can Sabrina in the final Manaphy. He does hit a heads, which is really sad. That might be enough to win him the game, you know. I really need to retreat into Arceus here. Maybe I can pick up a basic Pokemon. We don't even hit a basic Pokemon. It's truly doomed. At this stage, we're hoping that he doesn't have... At this stage, we're hoping he doesn't have his Gyarados in hand. That's about the only thing we can hope for. Let's see. Gonna have 3 cards, 9 left in his deck. He puts the Manaphy forward, which indicates he doesn't have his Gyarados yet. That's really good. Okay, so he's going to communicate for it. I imagine he top-decked the communication, because if he didn't, he should have put his Magikarp forward. Oh, he must have top-decked a basic or the... Yeah, so he finally hits the Gyarados. But this is good. This is actually good, because now we can kill the Manaphy. He's 1 turn too slow, it seems. We can kill the Manaphy, then Sabrina in the other Manaphy and win. So the play here is to actually Leaf into Carnivine. Kill this guy. Now he's screwed. He needs something like... He needs Cyrus or Sabrina plus Cape. Okay, so no, he needs Cyrus or Sabrina, and then our Carnivine will only do 20 damage. So we would then need to pick up the Arceus. The second Arceus. With 6 cards left in the deck and Professor's Research. Both Pokeballs have been used. He doesn't even have Sabrina or Cyrus, so now we just Sabrina in the Manaphy and win. I really love destroying this deck. So many people are playing this right now, and this deck is really aggressive into it. We'll show him the Sabrina first. Put him out of his pain and suffering. And he concedes. GG. Really good game. So we are going first against a Psychic deck. Most likely Giratina plus Mewtwo. There's the Mewtwo, yeah. We do start with Darkrai, which is better than starting Giratina in the front spot. So at least we've got that going for us. I'm going to research first. I think it's important to get multiple basics in this deck. So there's Giratina. I am going to Pokeball now so that we can play around Sabrina. Yeah, we have double Giratina. And I can always put the Giratina that doesn't have energy into the front spot if we get hit by Sabrina. We also have the Sabrina, so we can potentially slow him down. I'm not going to place any of the capes yet because Rocky Helmet could be important. For example, if Mewtwo goes to 170, Rocky Helmet is really important for bringing that guy down to 150 so that we can one-shot him at a later point. Okay, so he's going a second energy onto Mewtwo and a second energy onto Giratina. I'll go a second energy onto Darkrai, and he'll Dawn forward and do 150. I guess we're just hoping that he doesn't have Dawn. Put Sabrina in the... I think the play is to Sabrina in the Giratina here. I think that is the play. I just felt like there's a very good chance that he has Dawn. And he'd be one-shotting the Darkrai before I could really get any attacks off with it. Basically, we need to slow down his Mewtwo as much as possible. Now we're getting chipped down onto the Giratina. He needs Leaf to, like, put his Mewtwo back. But he doesn't have Leaf. I mean, he could have Leaf in hand, but he's obviously choosing not to use it right now. So, another simple turn for us. We just have to keep doing this. So I am going to place the tape onto Darkrai now. I'm not worried about Sabrina. I am going to place the Rocky Helmet onto this Giratina in the event of Sabrina. I think that's actually correct. And then we'll finish building this Giratina. So now our Giratina can start attacking next turn. Let's see what he does. It's not clear if attacking next turn is correct or not. Mewtwo is the bigger threat than Giratina right now. So we need to set up a way to kill the Mewtwo in one turn. Whether with red or a second Darkrai to put an energy on if he kills this Darkrai. So yeah, he's on 150. With Giratina plus red, we can do 150. We need an extra 20 damage from somewhere. Whether Rocky Helmet or a ping from Darkrai. So we do have the final Darkrai. So now we need to decide if it's correct to attack. I think the play is just to attack with the front Darkrai. We're not doing one-shots or anything like that, and he's then gonna... But he can't one-shot this Darkrai either. He legitimately can't one-shot this. He would need red, and then he would need to bring his Mewtwo in. So we're applying pressure to the Giratina right now. If he attacks with the Giratina, he falls to 10, although this deck runs a lot of healing, so we would need a miracle for that to stay on 10 health to ping it off. That's really not going to stay on 10 health. Although he has used Focus Lady Potion and a Cape already. But I know they like to run 2 copies of each of those cards. Seems like he's not building up for attack. He's going to try and rely on this Mewtwo to carry him the game. I don't think that's very trustworthy. Next turn I attack and finish him off. He comes in and loses 2 energy for doing 150. And he needs red to do the one shot. So... this is tricky. The play might actually be to not attack. I don't have red. There's 6 cards left in the deck. How can we set up to kill the Mewtwo? So he needs red to even kill the Darkrai. He'll go to 3 energy. So he's setting up for the second one shot. We don't have the cape, so we cannot tank another hit. We just have to attack. So now he needs red right now to one-shot the Darkrai. Then we have 150 damage coming in next turn. I guess at best we could go for the tie. I could place the Rocky Helmet on the Giratina. Would top deck the cape for the second Darkrai. So we had the first red. I mean, if we top deck red right now, it's all over. No need to think. If we don't get red, then the thinking needs to start. We don't hit the red. We have 150 damage. They've run a lot of healing. There's nothing we can do. We need to go for the tie. The tie is our best chance. If he has Sabrina, he wins. If he has red, he wins. Sorry, not red. If he has any healing, he wins. He has healing, so it's over. GG. Kind of a close game. If we got red, we won. If we got cape, we had a chance. We could have put our Darkrai into tank for another turn while doing 20 damage and then waiting for another turn to get red. Because it was unlikely that he had his second red. Yeah, it was a close game. I'm going second against a fighting deck. We don't have the Magikarp, but we do have the Manaphy plus Palkia start. They do have the Hitmonlee, so we are kind of scared of playing our Palkia down, allowing him to snipe. But we have the Misty. So we can never play our Magikarp down on the board. We need to deal with the Hitmonlee before we can even do that. So I think the play is the Palkia and Misty on the Palkia right now, before we even draw cards, before anything. See what happens. We need to play to our outs, and we need to kill this Hitmonlee as soon as possible so we can start building our Magikarp. So we do hit the tails. He's going to be starting hitting the 30 onto Palkia. So we're hoping 1 in 14 to draw Misty and hit 1 head so we can start attacking next turn. If not, he's setting the Palkia down to 60 before we're even attacking. And only after we deal with the Hitmonlee and we place our Magikarp. This matchup's really tough if they get the Hitmonlee start. Let's see. We'll draw 2 and see what happens. We do have the Irida for healing. I could try something crazy like retreating into Magikarp and building Magikarp in the front spot. Maybe that's the best out at this point. I mean, obviously he has basic Pokemon, but he held them to play around Sabrina. Let's see. Is my best out to retreat into Magikarp? He could then Cyrus Palkia and then just snipe it anyway, so I think the play is to just wait another turn. I think since we're at a massive disadvantage in this matchup, the play is we put the Magikarp next turn and hope that we hit heads with the Palkia. I think that's our best out. We also need a miracle in terms of him not drawing his Curlier or Gallade or something along those lines. Otherwise, there really is no hope. He puts us to 60. We do have the Irida. I'm going to retreat. Right, so I'm just thinking, do I need to place the Magikarp now? And I think the answer is yes. We need to bank on hitting heads right now. That's our best out for this game. I'm going to Irida to... Do we need to Irida now? We don't necessarily need to Irida now, but it's a supporter, and I want to leave open the chance that I can use Professor Research or Misty on the next turn if we top deck that. So that's why I do that. There is a world where he uses Iono, so I am going to use Rocky Helmet onto Palkia now. I know they like to run Iono in that deck because it increases the consistency of you finding your Curlier and Gallade, so we hit Tails and it's GG. He gets to snipe our Magikarp now. But if he doesn't have Curlier, there is a chance that our Palkia just keeps attacking each turn. We would need to be really lucky for that to happen. But for that to happen, we need to see no Curlier right now. Looks like he's going to Pokemon Communication trying to hit it. That's the only reason he would use Pokemon Communication right now, is to try and hit Curlier. Seems like he doesn't hit it. That's really good for us. Even though the Magikarp's getting sniped, we have a chance in this game. I do run one Sabrina, so if I can Sabrina in this route right now, that's game over. We don't hit it. Let's see. We could hit a Magikarp right now. Nope. Obviously we lose the 50-50 and hit the shit one. That's fine though. I guess I'll put the energy on the Manaphy. We'll start attacking. Next turn he gets Curlier. He needs another basic Pokemon. I mean, it's not even guaranteed that he gets a Curlier, by the way. He doesn't have Professor's Research, otherwise he would have used it. He doesn't have Iono, otherwise he would have used it. That does mean he has a lot of good top decks open, so yeah, he does top deck the Curlier now. But it looks like we just need one head unless he retreats into a basic. He doesn't have it, so this is our chance. One heads, that's all we need. One heads to win this game. We do have this Magikarp as insurance. Some sort of miracle. Maybe we could top deck Misty next turn and maybe there's some sort of miracle there, but we need the heads right now. Come on. And we hit the tails. That's a nightmare. The game's going terribly for both of us. So now he has the Gallade. He comes down in one shots. I go to 2 energy on Gyarados, so it seems like I do need at least one heads from Misty to win this game. Man, this game's crazy. Battle of who can have the worst luck. He does manage to get his Gallade down. I'm not really too worried about Sabrina. They don't really run Sabrina in this deck. I'm pretty sure they just run 2 Cyrus. So we do hit the Professor's Research. That increases our odds of drawing Misty. There's only 5 cards in the deck, so we need to draw Misty either this or next turn. Yeah. We need Misty and 1 heads. That's what we need. Misty and 1 heads. We have some sort of luck go our way this game. We hit no heads on the first Misty. Oh, he's even running Sabrina. That's crazy. I swear. Am I running Sabrina in my version? I don't even think I'm running Sabrina in my version. They really run one Sabrina? Well, that was a crazy game. Going first into a water deck, we are having to start with Magikarp, which isn't ideal. They do as well, but they're going second, so it's a lot better for them because they can just leap out. Whereas we have to wait one turn. So I'm going to research before using Pokeball, since we have the Gyarados. So now we just want to maximize our basic Pokemon. Honestly, I'm even going to hold the Pokeball another turn. That way if we top deck a basic, we can then get an extra basic. I'm not worried about getting hit by Mars or Iono. They don't really run it in the Gyarados deck. But we're hoping he doesn't have Manaphy here. I just noticed we're versing Faker. He must be taking a break from League of Legends. He decided to play some Shining Revelry Pokémon TCG Pocket. We're going to have to show him who's better in the mirror matchup. He's thinking pretty hard. I wonder what he has. I wonder what he's thinking about. He's going straight for the Misty. Does hit Tails. He must have a really... Okay, so he does have at least one Pokeball. So he's going to leap out to Manaphy. Now we need to find our Manaphy. So in this matchup, it's really important that we force his Gyarados to hit into our Rocky Helmet. And it's also important that we have red. So we need to buy time until we get the red. I'm just trying to think. I'm going to use Pokemon Communication on Manaphy. Trying to hit Origin Form Palkia here. Don't hit that, which is... I think it was a 50-50, but that's fine. And we're gonna leap out. I'm just trying to think if I should put the other Magikarp down. I wonder if I even need to leap. Yeah, it gets me energy. So yeah, I will place the other Magikarp. Maybe we can win by building 2 Gyarados here. It's a long shot. It takes a while to build both of them, but depends on how quickly he decides to bring his Gyarados in and start hitting. So we'll build up both our Magikarp here. I'm just going to place the Rocky Helmets down. I think I like this setup. That way, if he Sabrinas, we're still getting him to hit into at least one Rocky Helmet. Now we just need to find the red, really. Or the Origin Form Palkia would be good. Basically comes down to whoever gets the Origin Form Palkia first and hits into the first Manaphy. But we both seem to not be able to find it. So he does have Gyarados. But his Gyarados is going to start hitting next turn. And every turn that he doesn't attack with Gyarados, we're going to try and build towards Origin Palkia. So we need... Okay, so we do have Sabrina. The play might be to Sabrina in his Gyarados right now. Put the pressure on. But we don't have the red yet, so... we'd be leaving him on 20 health. And this is a tricky turn. Is it the best play we have though? I think it is the best play we have from this position. Sabrina in the Gyarados. That way he obviously can't retreat because he doesn't want to give up the 3 energy that it would cost. We can attack next turn with our Gyarados and put him to 20. Then he would need red plus helmet also. Yeah, I think I am going to Sabrina. If he's not 100% sure about the matchup, he might attack as well, thinking that he's safe. But we're going to be getting the big Gyarados hit onto his Gyarados first. And the quicker we go on the offensive, the longer it takes for him to draw his red. Usually they only run 1 copy of red in the Gyarados deck. I'm only running 1 red. So yeah, I think it's good to go aggressive here. Let's see if he attacks. I don't think he has an option really. I think he has to attack here. Because if he doesn't, I'm going to retreat and attack into him anyway. He retreats, wow. He's going to go to 3 energy now. Yeah, he can just retreat, I guess. I thought it would have been worse for him, but he's back up to his energy already. Well, I'm going to start swinging. I do have the red now. I'm going to start swinging. We also managed to build up our second Gyarados pretty well. It's about the best we can ask for here. Now it just comes down to what energy gets removed. So we removed energy from this Gyarados, which isn't ideal. So we're really hoping that he removes his own energy here. Obviously the odds, we have 6 energy to his what's going to be 4. So it is slightly more likely that he removes our energy. But he's going to attack and fall to 160 and we have the one shot, so as long as he doesn't have red plus... I mean, we have 1 prize and he doesn't have a single prize. He is running K. That is so strange. Damn. Maybe they run K for the mirror matchup now? Because it does give him an advantage. Luckily he gets tails. Actually, we probably wanted him to hit heads there, but... Let's see where he removes an energy. So he removed his own energy, that's really good. So now, this second Gyarados has a good chance of hitting. I'm going to put him to 20 now, which forces him to have to Irida. Prevents him from using something like Sabrina or, I don't know, a different supporter. So if we put him to 20, he's forced to Irida. He might not even have the Irida for starters. But we'll see what he has. We just really need this Gyarados to not lose one of his energy. So he does have the Irida. Looks like this Gyarados... So this back Gyarados did lose an energy. It was really unfortunate. So now we lose to Sabrina. Damn it. That's so unlucky. Well, nothing we can do. Let's draw. Now we have to pray for a turn. Pray that he doesn't have Sabrina. 5 cards. 6 left in the deck. Let's see if he's running it. He's not doing it instantly, so that tells me that he doesn't have it. He can never heal above the 140, so he really needs Sabrina right now, otherwise I win. Are we really going to take down Faker like that? thinking really hard. What could he possibly be thinking about? And he attacks. Oh, he's hoping to remove my energy. Thankfully, he doesn't do it for a third time. And now we get to close out the game. We also had Misty. I'll throw the Misty just there. No, I'm not going to BM him like that. That would be evil. But we did have the Misty. I'm going second into a grass deck. Hopefully it's not Meowscarada because that would be a pain, but I don't see what else it would be other than that. So it's most likely Exeggutor Meowscarada. But I have seen some people running the standard Exeggutor Celebi deck as well. But yeah, it probably is Meowscarada. So he's going to want to play a Sprigatito right now if he has it. The fact that he Pokeballs before research indicates that he's not really looking for basic Pokemon. So I imagine he has multiple basic Pokemon. So we're Pokeballing here looking for Darkrai. We lose the 66%. We get the 33% Giratina. So he's coming with potentially 80 with Exeggutor EX next turn. So the correct play is just to build the back Giratina and let him tank, the front guy tank for as long as possible. If he has Exeggutor EX and Sabrina, then we're screwed. Oh. He doesn't have that because he professes research, so we can stall for a couple of turns. So Exeggutor has 160 health. I'm never one-shotting that, so we need Darkrai really soon. I'm never one-shotting that. He already has Florigato. So I'm going to place our Rocky Helmet on the front Giratina to try and do some chip damage to this guy. I'm going to play the Nurse Joy right now. As I said, we need to keep our Giratina alive as long as possible. The reason I put the energy on this guy is because this guy needs 3 Psychic Energy, so only really needs 1 Dark Energy. And if we start building energy on this guy, we could potentially retreat next turn without having to waste our Leaf. For example, if we hit Darkrai, maybe we want to retreat. It's unlikely, but... Also, we could then retreat and do an attack with this guy next turn, plus red, you know, something like that. It's important to build this guy for the retreat. So we do have the Darkrai now. So the play is to just Darkrai, place an energy on it, and finish our Giratina. He's never one-shotting this guy, unless he retreats into Meowscarada with Leaf. Are we worried about Sabrina? Not really. So we just keep to our game plan. Next turn we're going to be taking the 2 prize of Exeggutor. So if he Ericas, he heals to full health, which is 160. If he capes, he goes to 180. We're never doing 180. We're not even doing 160, so Erica kind of screws us here. We'll see if he has that. He's thinking pretty hard. He doesn't have Erica, so we can one-shot him next turn. And he hits Tails. Yeah, we're coming in for the one-shot with Giratina next turn. We do use the Leaf here. We can save this 1 energy for if we get Cyrused in at some point. We can then retreat with 1 extra energy. And it allows us to build our Darkrai up quicker. So Meowscarada does 130. Against Darkrai it'll do 150 without red. So I am going to place the cape on the Darkrai just in case he Sabrinas or something. Anything else to do? Nope, just attack. I think it's very likely that he has red right now. So he's going to use red to kill the Giratina if I used cape on it. Let's see. I am running one Sabrina, so we could potentially Sabrina this Sprigatito in. Let's see what happens. He Marses. That actually helps us though, because we didn't have the card that we need. Let's see. Wow, we still have 11 cards in the deck. Look at the difference between these draws. He has double Professor Research. I have none. So let's see. Yeah, red screws us. Sabrina, Cyrus. Basically anything he has can beat us here. This is a really hard matchup for us. Well, we're just praying that he doesn't have any of his cards, I guess. And he has the Sabrina, so we lose. So we're going first versus a grass deck. It's important to start Darkrai in the front spot instead of Giratina. It's a lot better to keep Giratina safe on the bench. We're versing a grass deck that's running neutral Shaman. We don't need any extra Pokemon, so I am going to Pokeball right now. If you wanted extra Pokemon, it would be good to hold the Pokeball, but we don't need that. I'm going to place the second Darkrai to play around Sabrina. And we'll start slowly ramping our Giratina. I'm curious to see what he's playing since he's running this neutral Shaman. Not really familiar with any grass decks that run that. Probably Carnivine Arceus, I would imagine. So the question is, do I want to build the front Darkrai or the back Darkrai? We have Leaf in hand, so I'm just going to safely build the back Darkrai. Let this front guy tank any damage that's needed. While we build Giratina. So yeah, going first on this deck actually isn't that bad because it allows you to get your Giratina on 3 Psychic Energy on the same turn that you get your Darkrai ready to attack. So for example, next turn I'm going to end my turn and go to 3 Psychic Energy, and my Darkrai will be on 2 Dark Energy. So my Darkrai and Giratina are both ready to attack on the same turn. And he has nothing. Wow, he really isn't playing any other cards. Anything I can do to punish that? Not really. I'm just going to draw and place my energy. So he's going to go to 30. So placing the Rocky Helmet is important. If he has no healing, we're pinging that off for 20 next turn to kill it. Am I worried about Mars or Iono? I don't really know what to be worried about, but I imagine... So I'm going to play this Cape down to thin my hand out a little bit, just in case he does run Mars. Because at this point, what could he possibly be running? I feel like Cape is the best target to go on Darkrai here, since Darkrai is going to be attacking first, and then we'll bring Giratina in later. So it looks like he's running Leafeon. So Leafeon has 140 health and does 70 damage for 3 energy. But Leafeon does cheat out 1 energy, so he'll be attacking with his Leafeon next turn. If I had Sabrina, that would be... Actually, Sabrina wouldn't have done anything. Pokeball also is not drawing us any Pokemon here, but I'm going to use it to get it out of my hand, just in case he runs Mars. A red card. So he opted not to attack. Do I want to attack now? So his Leafeon's going to come in and do 90, potentially 110 if he has red to my Darkrai. I think it's important to just start attacking right now. Apply the pressure. He had a very slow start, so we can definitely win. I'm surprised this guy got to Master Rank playing this deck. I wonder what other Pokemon he runs. It can't just be Shaman plus Leafeon. Maybe he's running Celebi. Celebi goes good with Leafeon because of, you know, the grass generation, so most likely he's running Celebi. He does hit He does hit Tails on Team Rocket Grunt. If he hit 2 heads there, it would have been game losing, but 1 would have been fine. And we do win the game. Seems like my opponent had a very, very bad hand that game. But GG.